Alright, now heading downstairs to the gathering point for the shuttle bus for VIP, just shortly after 4:30 right now. VIP runners gather together on the second floor of Hyatt, and it's just a very short walk to the VIP bus. Alright, first bus. Thank you. Okay, VIP bus.
We're ready.
We are getting off the bus and will be heading towards the Anywhere CrossFit gym. Thank you. It is not yet 6 a.m., but a lot of runners have arrived. Alright, we are now heading towards the VIP resting area. It is 5:48 a.m. It's definitely chilly. Really had a terrible sleep last night. Hope that I can still run okay. I mean, I slept early, probably before 9 p.m. yesterday, but I woke up multiple times, and just before 1 a.m. I woke up for the last time and I couldn't fall asleep again anymore. Lied on bed for a couple of hours before giving up and just get out of bed at about 3:30ish. This is the Anywhere gym that we will be spending about 30 minutes in before the race. While waiting in the gym, I met David. I hope I got your name right. If you're watching this video, David, I hope you had a really good race.
Others have been racing for years. Let's go now to Aaron Heft, live from the scene.
All right, our first group cutting out. Still screaming out against 9,000 of you. You know, I have to ask, how are the people in the very back? 70 Dunlap in the 550 group. I know you're back there somewhere. Oh, yeah.
Meeting people at the 13.1 mile halfway point and giving just the most amazing support. If you are along the course in any way,
There is a very short and mild incline, and then we will go downhill for more than half a mile before making the right turn and going uphill again. Last year, I lost track of the 305 pace group at the start. I spent a lot of miles trying to catch up to them, but I never could. This year, I make sure at the corner of my eye, I always keep track of the 315 pace group. "12, 13 years ago when I was fit, this first mile I felt really easy. Today, I'm not in very good shape. Coming back from injury, didn't have enough sleep. I felt very sluggish at the start, even though I'm just going with the 315 pace group. In my first ever marathon, my first ever CIM in 2008, I also went with the 315 pace group. 16 years later, I'm back to following the 315 pace group again. We are now making a right turn onto Oak Avenue. and soon we'll see the first mile marker. Even though first mile is mostly downhill, we are still a little behind schedule.
Mile 2 and 3 together, 14:45. Well, let's talk about today's plan. Originally, I was thinking about going for 310, or 310, but I really didn't have any good sleep the last 2 days. And during the warm up, I realized I am struggling a little. So instead of 310, I'm going with the 315 group and see what happens. If I do good in the last few miles, I'll try to pick it up. Otherwise, 315 is not a disaster, at least. Mile 4, 7:15. Definitely a little faster. Still feeling okay. Taking it a little easier for the uphill and pushing on a downhill. Water station should be coming soon. Mile 5 coming up. $7:23, right on pace. Soon we'll be turning left. All right, just under 6 miles, and we're now turning left onto Fair Oaks. There should be a water station soon. Really a good call to go with 315 instead of 310. I would be struggling with 310 for sure. Mile 6, 7:25, right on pace. Still feeling okay. Just 20.2 to go. Mile 7, 7:30.
I didn't feel too good in the first 5-6 miles, but gradually I'm feeling a little better. For the marathon, the tough thing is, without much warm up, we need to get into goal pace pretty quickly.
Mile 8 coming up. Feeling okay. Slightly tough on the uphill, but very comfortable on the downhill. $7:25, right on pace. Okay, mile 9 coming up. $7:33. A little slow, but it's okay. Stay with it. Round 10, 7:23. Just want to show how foggy it is today. Probably the foggiest CIM that I've ever run. Mile 11, 7:21. Good pace. Very foggy today. All right, mile 12 coming up. $7:24. Thank you.
There are some disadvantages of running with a pace group. The most obvious one is that it could be too crowded at the drink station, and it can be very chaotic.
Chaotic in water stations the whole way today. Just very crowded. Definitely a lot more runners than just a few years ago. Mile 13 coming up in the halfway point. And then we have a big left turn. For many years, I've not been using the pace group because my first ever CIM, first ever marathon, I was with the 3:15 pace group at that time as well, and it was bad. The pacer ran too fast. Today, the pacer is doing a fantastic job. All right, round 13. 7:22. Good pace. And this is half marathon. And this is faster than my half marathon race just a month ago. I ran 1:38. Today should be about 1:37-ish. Good pace. Stay with it. To make the big left turn. It's narrowing down a little. There's a little uphill, the low wind after the turn. It's easy to lose speed. We'll see.
GSM gentlemen, shout out. Gary Scott for run. I'm Wally, Ken, and Ty. Be ready to go. Go.
in previous years. But at this point, there are very few runners nearby. But today, still a lot of people. All right, mile 14 coming up. Only 12.2 miles to go.
14 miles! Congratulations! 315!
Still feeling pretty good. Maybe just struggling a tad on the uphill. Flat and downhill, pretty smooth. 7:21.
That's a great.
Pretty good so far. Mile 15 coming up.
Both side up. Both out there. The training, he was like sick. So it's like third in the training, he was which is different than saying I'm signing up and doing that.
Okay. 7:21. Good pace. Still feeling really good. Stay with it. All right, mile 16. 7:24. 10.2 to go. Actually feeling better than the first 2 miles.
Starting to see faces.
Stay with it. Just 10 miles. Mile 17 coming up. Another chaotic border station. Gotta search a little to grab my drinks. Let's rest a little on this downhill. Okay, 7:18, 9.2 miles to go. Okay, mile 18 coming up. No cramping. So this is very good. Thank you. Oops, forgot to press the 18-mile button.
Go 315! Yeah! 315! Yeah!
In my first ever CIM in 2008, I was following the 315 pace group. I let them go after mile 10. I caught it back up at mile 24, and there were nobody with the pacers. They all disappeared. A lot of them actually ran too fast and failed to hit sub 315 that day. 2008 CIM remained my slowest CIM all time. My goal today is hopefully just to be a little bit faster than my 2008 CIM time. I searched ahead for the last train station to get my drink, just to make sure that I stay out of all the chaos, because I'm feeling pretty good. I'm taking this opportunity to accelerate a little, perhaps get a few more seconds under 315, maybe even dipping into 313 if I can. This is a redemption race for me. I have too many failures in running in 2024. First, 10 miler in March, the Reading 10 miler, disaster. Second, Sacktown 10 miler, disaster. Obviously, we have Sydney because of my injury, a disaster. I did okay in the tricky trot, but it was still a struggle. In my recent races, and even in some of the hard workouts, I have negative thoughts in the middle of those races and workouts. I have my demons telling me I cannot do it. I have to slow down, or I will hit the wall. Today, I'm just hoping that I won't get that feeling anymore. I need to eliminate the demon in my mind. It is sad to see fellow runners in the race struggling, that they have to start walking, still miles away from the finish.
Okay, mile 19 coming up. "18 and 19 miles, 2 miles together." Let's see. "14:48. 20 miles coming up. Struggling a little bit with my gel. "7:29.
I am trying to take my last caffeinated gel from the back of my shorts, but I'm struggling with it. I just cannot get it out.
21 mile coming up.
It looks like a few other runners originally in the 3:15 pace group also decided to accelerate and pick up the pace. I can recognize them. Let's see if we can all work together all the way to the finish. Among all the disastrous races that I ran this year, the biggest disaster is the Clarksburg half marathon. I ran 1:38 and I wasn't trying to jog, I was trying to push and run a faster time. Compared with a week before Chicago 2023, I ran the San Jose half marathon and I jogged to a 1:38 time, and I was jogging at that time.
7:18. Good pace.
And a week after my 1:38 San Jose half marathon last year, I ran 3:05 in Chicago, my fastest over 50 time.
Famous bridge. After the bridge, 22 mile is coming up.
Weather is pretty good today. It is relatively cool. It can be a few degrees cooler, but really we cannot really ask for more. But still, after mile 21, I can see a lot of carnages. A lot of people start to walk, or they have to slow down quite significantly. Some first-time CIM runners may not realize, even though this is a net downhill course, there are still a lot of rolling hills in the first half.
Mile 22 coming up. Only 4.2 to go. Stay with it. Stay with it. $7:23. Good pace.
The last 3+ miles of CIM is a very mentally challenging part of the race. We are very close to the downtown state capital. We are on J Street for a while, and then we'll move to L Street. However, for the cross street, we start at 57th Street, and we have to go all the way down to the 8th Street before making a left turn and another left to the finish line. It is very mentally challenging because you keep seeing from 57 to 56 to 50 to 45, and if you are not feeling good at that point, you are just going to keep your mind thinking about when I will be down to the 8th Street. Well, now that I'm a little older, my eyesight is not as good, so I'm not able to see the street number as clearly as 15 years ago. Perhaps it helps. I'm not doing the countdown, so I'm not feeling as mentally exhausted trying to go from 57 down to 8 before I arrive at the finish. But when one is feeling good in the last few miles of this race, you can really accelerate. This part of the course is pretty much flat or maybe even slightly downhill. So if you have anything left, you can really pick up the pace. Not many turns, pretty straight, just a couple of left and right turns, and then you'll be all the way to the finish. At this point, I'm not feeling too tired. I still have something left. I would like to try to pick up the pace a little and see whether I can dip into 3:13. But among all the CIMs that I have run so far, by this point, in most times, my legs are totally cramping. I still have this very scary thought: if I push too hard, I might just start cramping.
Thank you.
Because of today's chaos at the drink stations, I developed this new technique using both hands to grab the drinks. I might keep doing that in my future races. I feel like I am not very well prepared for this race, other than the fact that I'm just coming back from my hamstring injury. Work has been extremely busy the last few weeks. I didn't start packing until Friday, 2 days ago, and of course, I forgot to bring something. One of the things I really wish I did bring are my calf sleeves. I have been wearing my compression calf sleeves for the last 12-13 years, and I just feel like they are part of my leg when I race. Unfortunately, today I don't have them. I'm not sure whether it makes any difference, but psychologically I feel like I'm missing something. My all-time marathon PR is set at CIM in 2011, 13 years ago. I ran a 3:02:29. I can tell you, in the last 3 miles, both my legs, both quad and hamstring, were cramping. Seriously. I completed that race, as well as setting a PR pretty much all based on my sheer will. I willed myself to the finish line, even though my two legs were cramping very significantly. We are not that far away from the finish, just a little over 2 miles. But at this point, as I am trying to push the pace a little, I feel a little cramp on my left calf. So I'm being a little bit cautious, try not to push too much, so at least I can keep this pace all the way to the finish. I remember these left turns and right turns very well. After the left turn and the right turn, we will be on L Street, and there's only going to be a couple of more miles to go. We are very close to the finish.
Come here, man. Home free. Home free. Do the shit. You know his name. Got your thing. Go.
After the bridge ahead of us, there should only be about 1.5 miles to go. Very close. Just have to stay with it. I feel like there are few runners around me that we are pretty much running together for the last 3-4 miles, maybe even longer. It's good to have a group of people working together. I have been so focused on finishing strong that I don't remember I have my camera on pretty much for the last couple of miles. So I'm going to run out of battery pretty soon, and I couldn't videotape the finish, unfortunately. As we are getting closer and closer to the finish, there are more and more spectators. They're really giving us support to help us go all the way to the finish. I did a good job dodging runners trying to get a drink. last mile of the race is about survival, about your willpower. How bad do you want to finish the race strong? I really don't have a lot of that willpower today, but I'm able to stay steady all the way to the finish, to a 3:14:14.
Alright, we can see all the runners running about 4-hour pace. Just have about maybe 0.4 miles to go. Now back to Hyatt. This is Hyatt, where I'm staying this time as well as the last 3 times.